Craig is back again. We could not be happier about it. We're talking about the Leafs general manager situation. I thought it was interesting listening to Craig Conroy on Tuesday at the Flames media conference, Craig, saying that what happened with Johnny Gaudreau, where he walked away for nothing, Craig Conroy said, that was a learning experience for him and that it would never happen again under his watch. But the truth is, it was actually under Brad Treliving's watch that all happened. Now Treliving presumably is the top candidate to be the Leafs' next GM, and they have a pending potential unrestricted free agent coming up at Austin Matthews. So it's a very similar situation. Does that make Treliving a better candidate or a worse candidate, considering he's been through that type of thing already?
Well, what you hope people learn from their experiences is where they failed, where they could have been better, and then they bring it into their next experience. And you know what? I'm a big believer that smart people can learn from their mistakes. And certainly when you look at the situation with Austin Matthews, I think it's more like Matthew Tkachuk. I don't think it's like Johnny Gaudreau. I think it's more like Matthew Tkachuk. Matthew Tkachuk was going into one more year before he was unrestricted. They could have qualified him. Now, Matthew could have sat back and said, I am not going to sign that. You got to trade me. Brad was very proactive. He said, he's not committing to us long term. I'm trading him. So that was a decisive move by Brad Treliving in getting Jonathan Huberdeau and Mackenzie Weegar back. I think that's the Austin Matthews situation. And I think that that's where it compares, because on July 1st, Austin Matthews has a full no-move clause. He will control everything in the process. So I think that the benefit that Brad brings is that he went through something very similar. And I'm not suggesting that you should trade Austin Matthews if he says he's not going to sign long-term, but it's a similar situation to that. And do you want to go into the last year where he can veto any trade? He can decide exactly what he's going to do. He can ask for whatever he wants. And if you don't pay him, then he walks free. Yeah, I think that Brad Treliving or whoever comes in to be the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs has to be fully cognizant of it and then understand what are the things that we can do to deal with this if Austin Matthews is not going to commit to the Toronto Maple Leafs long term.
And Craig, there are reports out there that Leafs president Brendan Shanahan has told the core four of the Maple Leafs, Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares, that he has apparently told them that they will not be traded. Are you not kind of taking the power away from your new potential GM a little bit? What if your new GM wants to trade one of these guys and feels it's the best possible move for this team? Aren't you already hampering him?
Hey, Jay, I'm not buying it. I'm not believing it. Brendan Shanahan's a bright guy. Brendan Shanahan knows that players can be traded at any moment in time. I'm not buying that story. I don't believe it. I think, like, when I was a manager, I would tell the players, if I can make a trade that makes the team better, I'm going to make it. Now, I can tell players, it's not my intention to trade you. I'm not looking to trade you. But if a trade comes along and it makes our team better, everything's on the table. I'm not taking anything off the table. Brendan Shanahan is too bloody smart to put himself in that position, let alone his next manager. So I'm not buying the story, and I don't think it would be smart. And only somebody that wasn't smart, I think, would make that. And Brendan Shanahan does not qualify as not smart.
As they always say, right, Craig, even Gretzky got traded. So surely someone in the 4-4 could get traded.